go. Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us on YouTube and Facebook for a time of heart and soul connection, feeling, breathing around. Subject today is the supermoon.
Yeah.
A series of them.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait to get some people in the room before we start talking about that.
Hello, Rihanna.
Hi, Rihanna.
There's people in the room right there.
Just making sure it looks good on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we'll check on YouTube. And then we will start talking.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Can we turn that just on? Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting how this one kind of snuck up on us, actually. I wasn't tracking it logically, like, oh, there's supermoons coming. And we'll talk more about the distinction of a supermoon from a full moon, what makes them different and more potent. And it was more about actually when you woke up a few mornings ago and I heard you outside. I heard Raphael outside, and I went to go to the bathroom and I looked outside and huge moon, golden, huge moon in the sky. And I said, oh, that's a supermoon. And it's about, what did we see, 14% bigger and 30% brighter than a usual full moon. So that kind of gives you a sense of how it's dynamically different, but it's really about how it's energetically more intense, which we'll talk about. So then when I saw that, I said, that's a supermoon.
Yeah.
And then as I was looking into that, we find out that there's 4 in a row.
Right. And we haven't been like planetary alignment specialists on, the whole
Is there such thing?
Astrology.
Astrologers, yeah.
But we just know that there's something very significant about it. It's a part of nature and cycle and rhythm, as is we are. And so it's coming into it without a lot of knowing, but with reverence and awe and wonder. And yeah, 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, I woke up early and didn't realize that it was probably because of the supermoon that I was woken up early and nice and early, like 4 a.m. And by 4:30, I had my tea and my smoothie and was sitting under that bright lit,
feet on the ground, feet on the altar.
Bare feet on the ground, out in our outdoor altar space, being altered. And so then I did that again this morning. It was 2 days after the supermoon, but it was almost fall. And so we're still getting those same codes, those same transmissions.
Yes.
And it was palpable energy to be.
I think you just were drawn, like you hadn't even been sitting out there in the early morning recently. And I think you just felt it, like your soul was drawn, as we often are when we need, whether it's to lay in the sun and get solar energies, or it's to get lunar energies. We just feel it. We're drawn to it. And the 4 supermoons in a row are, August 19th was the first one, September 19th, October 17th, and November 15th. And we looked this up too. We were doing our little research prior to the call.
ChatGPT.
Of course, supermoons happen. A few of them happen every year. But to have 4 of them in a row, it's not something I remember seeing since I've been tracking them the last several years. And it is relatively rare. Every several years, they said it might happen. So it feels like we've been talking so much about and offering so much around Lionsgate and this alignment and what it's bringing up and what it's offering people and what it's offering us. And then coming out of that, then there's this 4-month lunar cycle. And lunar, of course, is divine feminine or feminine energies. So I just find that really interesting and something that we wanted to tune into today, give you a bridge to, and see what comes forward.
Yeah. And in that research we got to do, again, we've been looking at it for a few days, but we'd like to ask you what your desire or intention is towards this present passage and the 3 to come. And but I wonder if you would share, Jelelle, the different pieces that the supermoon offers, and then people could feel, because maybe they don't have their intention sorted out right now. But we'd like you to, maybe you already know
some of the ways the
we
energies.
wanted to invite you to share it in the chat so we could read it together in this live stream.
Well, one of the pieces is cycles of completion, which was similar to the Lionsgate energies. So things are completing or moving out of your life that were previously going on. There's a letting go, there's a shedding. Oh, sorry about that. That's our, no, I guess you don't get it.
No.
Or should you get it?
What is it?
Package?
No, I think it's a neighbor.
Okay, sorry about that.
We don't have a package.
Hopefully that's not too loud.
Maybe I need to turn the door off though.
Yeah, I'll just keep going. Our wonderful doorbell. So yeah, go ahead.
No, it took care of itself.
Okay. Where
as long as they don't ring the doorbell again. Portuguese can be pretty persistent when the neighbors
we
want
know
to talk to you.
We know you're in there.
Yes, your car is home.
Okay.
But
so,
no, for this reason, we get our packages.
At least we weren't in the middle of the meditation.
We get our packages when we order something delivered to the bar.
It hasn't happened yet in the middle of the sound healing here,
but
so that's great.
Sometimes there's a gift. Sometimes there's could you please move the car because we want to weed whack around.
And we've been here 3 years and we still don't know how to change the tone or the sound or the melody.
We're like those old folks that don't know how to change the timer on their VCR player.
Exactly. I asked you, do you know how to work this? No, it's a panel. Okay, anyway.
Rihanna would figure it out in 60 seconds.
Yeah, Rihanna, could you help us out? Oh, have you come help us? Anyway, the cycles of completion, cleansing, enhanced intuition, amplified emotions. Oh, shedding. That's what I was going to say. Shedding, just like how our menstrual cycles are often synced to the moon cycles, of course. And so we're shedding things and detoxing things. And where you may be feeling this is on the body level, and particularly interrupted sleep. And we had it. You were up at 3:30 this morning, and I heard you, and I couldn't get back to sleep. And what I noticed, I was moving my feet, and there was all of this energy moving through.
Yeah, I was rested, but it was like I shouldn't be.
Yeah. So a lot of people talk about, oh, the moon woke me up, and some of it is the brightness of it, but also it's the energy of it. Amplified and intensified.
Because I had my shutters down, so I didn't know what the brightness was outside physically.
You just felt it.
But the energy,
Yeah. What else?
One other piece was I love that piece you're just sharing about things completing and things beginning. And so that's an intentional piece to feel around have you identified that is really something that you can observe that is completing or wants to complete and that wants to begin. That might be where you center your intention. Another big piece was offered around the deeper connection with nature is really, really supported by the cycle of the moon, by the cycle of our bodies and our souls.
That's the interesting thing with this supermoon portal too, at least for us here in this hemisphere. We're going from summer, and summer is starting to wind down here, but then we're going into fall for the next supermoon, and then we're almost into winter by the final one. So it's sort of taking us into this shift in seasons, and I find that really interesting as well. and the connections. And we're planning to do, now that we've synced in with this, we plan to do one of these love streams near each of these supermoons. So the middle of the month for the next 3, we will be doing the same thing. So what I think that also offers, which is interesting, is a locator for yourself. So wherever you feel you are in this moment, you can use it in a month as a marker to where you are then, and where you are in the next one, and where you are in the next one. So these, I think it's my priestess aspects cannot help but be tuned into the moon. When you didn't have Google or internet, the information was in the sky, and you would read the sky, and you would read the weather patterns, and nature and the celestial was how you oriented and how you could track what was going on in behaviors. And moon madness, it's a pretty common thing.
Going
loony, exactly. But I don't see it as necessarily a negative thing. I think it's an amplified thing.
Yeah.
So you may feel an amplification, like if you have a chronic thing going on in your body, inflammation, infection, indigestion, you might notice an amplification of it. Now would be a really good time in any full moon, to fast or to eat very lightly during it. Lots and lots of water is another piece. Drinking lots of good, clean water, but also going into water.
Yes.
Cleansing and purification rituals. People talk about putting their crystals out in the full moon. And it's the same kind of idea, is letting the lunar energies cleanse and release. So we will, in our meditation today, be tuning you into the full moon, the supermoon energies as a portal, and also to healing pools that we like to go to, that we actually physically went to one yesterday. Was that yesterday? Anyway, recently. The crystal clear water that we also drink as well. And it was just amazing. It's cold, and we went under a waterfall, and it was, but it was really cleansing. Like it took a whole layer of something off. And so energetically, etherically, we will connect to that as well. So thank you to those of you who are putting in the chat, just anything you want to put out there connected to the supermoon, anything you want to release, let go, what your intentions are. During this lunar passage.
Thank you, Sarah, for speaking to these big completions inside. And I see you naming some big pieces here, including, so you're willing to set the bar high here, lifelong patterns even. And that feels true, that there's a support here for lifelong patterns that seem immovable. But Sarah's speaking to that here, including behaviors and our overall relationship to life and relationships with others, and what's going on in my inner world and with the divine. Boom, that's a big, tall order there, but I think you're feeling that this support is addressing and applicable to all of that. And you're bringing your intention toward it, to meet it, and to meet it heart on. And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And Rihanna offers, it really does feel like the completion of so many cycles, letting go of old suffering grounds, and really working to enter new phases that bring a deeper relationship within and with the divine. My intention is to help my inner mother. That's a part we connect with, that mother template that lives inside of us, or inner father. My intention is to help my inner mother connect with my queen aspects and parts, to create a strong triad with each of their individual gifts, and to move away from overholding and caretaking others before my own parts. And so we work with parts of the self, and they are this beautiful transmutational, transformational otherizing of parts of ourself to create a relational space where there wasn't before. So instead of there just being an I, me and I voice. There is this bridge now to these aspects of our being that get to come apart in order to come together in reunion. And so that's what Rihanna's speaking to there.
I wanted to say too that this is a time for feminine healing, sacred feminine healing in particular, because of the supermoons and the lunar energies as well. So even the womb healing going on. We did a really beautiful session today, Raphael and I, with women, where we did, it was incredible to feel the womb healing was actually a womb activation. So it was moving out of motherhood and into wise woman, which is something I've been holding a lot of space for inside of myself. And I feel is coming to, so if you're feeling intensification of menstrual symptoms and PMS-like intensity of emotions, and if you're menopausal intensity there, it feels like that's part of what our connection to the moon. So it can actually help, I think, to connect to it directly and kind of ask for what are you trying to activate in me? What am I meant to let go of? In this case, it was letting go of motherhood, as it always is with menopause, and the grief that can be associated with that. And very often isn't addressed. So that could be for a lot of women going on. And I think sexuality as well is connected in there for women right now too. And whatever your desires are toward that, for yourself, toward life, with a partner, I think those are amplified. What do you feel it is for men? Because these are kind of feminine energies, and how have you felt that as a man as you've been receiving that?
I think there's a lot coming together for men around their deep core motivation of men will be oriented, the masculine, I should say, will be oriented to wanting to know first, what shall I do? The feminine will be more natively inclined to go, what is there here to feel? And energy moves through us and prompts us to respond with an action. We're a physical being, so we have, and there can be a lot of conundrum about where should I put my time and energy, and frustration over blocked energy or desire, or whether it's self-permission or perception of limits and boundaries. And as Sarah was just saying, they're feeling so much support and comfort right now. I am feeling that profoundly for the masculine and for the feminine as well, really. But there's something deep right now available to us around comfort. Even as in this time, there's such a stirring going on in the world, of course, too. This really heightens what's going on in the world around us of chaos and change. So.
And you've been taking in so many masculine electric energies. Excuse me.
Bless you.
I knew that was coming. And the feminine is more magnetic. So that this offers men grounding.
Right.
I would think. There was some more comments. Thank you for joining us, Fran.
Yeah.
Jasper, I think, was saying down here. Jasper and then Anna.
Yeah, Jasper says, yes, I resonate with that, Rafa. Thank you for being here, Jasper.
Anything you want to say, Jasper, too, about intentions for this supermoon?
Yeah. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here comes another piece.
Okay.
Anna, thank you for being here again. Anna says, feeling deeply in each moment and expressing in relationship. Yes. Letting go of old patterns of people-pleasing and increasing integrity with internal states and gnosis. Oh, I love that word. And behaviors and communications. Okay, there's a tall inclination, intention.
I feel the people-pleasing thing is kind of what Rihanna was speaking to, and the caretaking and the inner mother. I think that's what I'm feeling too for women around this lunar energy, as it calls out something else that's not the mother. That is more of this primordial energy in the womb, wombic energy, but also the priestess as well. And these are energies that have often been buried and suppressed. And so it provokes, it invokes out of us these frequencies. So if you get the chance in your life, the way it's arranged, to actually connect to the moon in the early morning, even, or even late at night, it brings out something. There's the nighttime, being in the night, being when a time you're not normally awake, and if you can be in nature at the same time in that, it provokes something very primordial and ancient within us, and feminine and masculine. That's what you were. I love that you were moon bathing. That's essentially what you were doing. I connected also etherically in meditation, like we're going to do today. But it helps with the people pleasing because it's more unsentimental in a way. The way that the moon has this magnetic force on the tides of water, for example, and it's not apologetic for it. I'm going to pull you in. I'm going to crash you back in. And that's the magnetic quality. I'm going to have an earthquake. Or maybe I won't, and this is the somewhat volatility of also the force of the feminine that has been so suppressed, and even in men too. So it gets awakened during these times, I would say. That isn't people pleasing, but it's also can be caring and compassionate.
As it felt, and maybe this resonates for you too, Anna, as you feel your own frequency rising within you in your private inner world, coming together, meaningful connection with yourself and parts of you, then there's wanting to experience that with others. And how can I bridge this? I don't want to lower my frequency too far. I want to invite those around me into experiencing with me what I'm experiencing. And so there's it's a bit scary for parts of us to upgrade like this, to take in these support codes, because we know we're being potentially estranged more from our relationships and world around us. I've been getting a ton of support lately from nature, going almost daily on a very close by nature walk that's just epically beautiful. I believe Fran was there today. And I've also been sunbathing and
naked.
We have a private patio, and
you're becoming wild wizard man in the woods is what I'm calling him. Oh, that's good. That's a lot of W's.
Yeah.
He's got this staff and he's going barefoot and he's like becoming one. And I had a feeling, I didn't tell you this, you were ahead of me the other day, and I'm like, I'm going to lose him to the woods. That was the feeling. He's just going to be gone. So there's something so beautifully wild coming out of you.
It feels so supported and
just
so
diving
rewarded.
in the cold water naked and all of that.
The one piece I'd add that Sarah spoke to was feeling so supported. I've been tuning in a esoteric interpretation of Psalm 23, that famous psalm, "The Lord is my shepherd," feeling the Lord as my divine self and taking that whole psalm from there. And there's a potent, if you just ask Chat GPT, please give me a esoteric interpretation of Psalm 23. It is really, really, really potent, and it's just been a simple meditation that I've been loving giving myself to in the morning or walking the nature walk in the trail.
Too around that.
And so
I think what helps with the disorientation and what can be scary, jarring, as you're saying, Sarah, and letting go of the old, what always helps that process is connecting to our soul, is connecting to the divine. Because the trust comes there. So whether we're speaking of connecting to lunar energies, the divine energies of lunar, not the matrix hijacked lunar's energies, or the divine in nature, the divine in this reciting that you're doing, it really helps then parts of us feel like, whoa, there's this vastness that's really holding and supporting all of this for me and with me. And I think particularly, obviously, Divine Mother in in the lunar energies. And that is what helps navigate the completions and the changes. And of course, we support that everyone has a deep access to the divine and even an embodiment of the divine as a divine spark from. So this is not about seeking it outward, but really finding it within. And what we try to do is bridge you to energies, celestial energies, anything that will help bring that into your awareness and into your embodiment. You want to read Demetra's intention?
Yes,
Hello,
Demetra. Hello, everyone. Says Demetra. My intention for this supermoon is to deepen with my feminines inside around what's coming online and completing now, as well as get clearer from my desires too. So feeling the feminine parts of herself, the queen aspect, the inner mother aspect,
the
inner child
daughter
aspects, the feminines, calling that feminine round table together. So that's really beautiful, Demetra. And Demetra says also that she woke up abruptly at 4 a.m. today. Well, there we go. I was up with you. I could feel this supermoon is bringing what's been in shadows for me for so long. And what is needed is a sacred reclaiming now. So there's this potent opportunity to lovingly bridge to what's been relegated to our shadow. Reunion codes. So.
Yeah. And the veils lifting in that process, and even memories coming back into our awareness again, and being able to be felt and processed.
Yeah, Jasper speaks to that. My intention is to bring awareness to parts of me that were in shadow.
Yeah.
I tend to focus more on the parts that are thriving and shining in their bigness, while the other parts are often overlooked and not necessarily watered as deeply as they should be. I'm also leaning into this call to connect with men in a deeper and more emotional way. Yeah, to practice what's going on inside, to play with it, experiment with it, express with it, with feeling what's wanting to be authenticated, like what's being authenticated inside. How could it be authenticated? What would being vulnerable look like and feel like right now with a man, with another man? So
I think that's a piece of it too, is the comfortableness with shadow. I think the feminine has more comfortableness with that, especially where we go during our period cycles, for example. The pain that we hold, or labor, or chaos, what it brings shadow, up, the emotional void, the emotional churnings that we go through. And so we are more comfortable in shadow, I would say. And I think that's what this offers men, is also to be more comfortable with it, and not just the shiny and bright and achieving and what looks good out there, appearances, keeping up appearances, or being the provider, or efforting is what you call it. And that means the parts that are in shadow, the energies that are in shadow,
the desires that have been parked in shadow,
the powers and gifts,
attachments, addictions. We don't use those words judgmentally at all. They're all beautiful portals. We came here to get attached and detached.
Well, thank you for all of your comments, and I feel that kind of going into the field we're creating together, and this pretty simple meditation to again connect you with the supermoon energies now, and all of us together here, and those who take in the recording, and then a healing pool to see what that cleanses and releases for you, along with the sound bowls and the tones, which you're obviously welcome where you are, just tone and whatever else you feel like doing.
We have our sound bowls here, so we'll just change our microphone to musician setting.
Thank you. Okay.
We have 6 or 7 sound bowls on the floor. And you don't need to see them.
Audio, let's see here. Okay.
And just make sure.
And grief, rage and grief, yes.
Are the bowls, can you hear them, Rihanna? And we'll be doing some toning as part of the meditation today. Jelelle's going to largely lead, I think.
Guess so, and whatever you feel like
Yo.
bringing in as well.
Yo. So, thank you, Rihanna.
So you can begin to close your eyes and move within. Maybe take some breath. Inhale, exhales to ground yourself here. And you could see us gathering in a circle as if we were coming together for a full moon, supermoon circle together. I like the idea of being together during this time. If you feel like being alone, of course, you can feel that as well. And above us in the night sky is that bright, brilliant moon. Shining down. And you might speak your intention to the moon. Share your desire. Feel what wants to come forward and wants to be released. As a woman, you might really feel your womb activated in the moon energy. Maybe pregnant with something or ready to let go of something. And I see a healing pool there too. If you want to go in the water, if you feel called to release, to swim, to receive cleansing.
Feel your intention now as you continue to acclimate to the pool, descending into the water. And feeling when you'd like to submerge, allowing yourself to fall forward or backward, surrendering to this immersion of support, of ceremony, of remembrance. Of completion, of new beginning, acknowledging your divine self, as your all in all. Receiving love to any part of yourself or your soul in any need of any kind. Allow your heart and your soul to find a tone, even as the animals are known to sing back to the moon. Let the energy move through you and move with us in self-permission now, just to feel some tones. Howling at the moon.
Oh. You have to howl if you're out there.
Ow,
It's
wow,
quite fun.
wow.
Ow.
Howl in joy, howl in sorrow, howl in whatever's alive. Ow, 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 ow. Feel the marker here that your tone you can come back to anytime. Maybe with a little bit of privacy, maybe not. Such a relief from trying to be mentally brilliant. Let your heart sing. Let your soul sing. Let your light language speak and even bypass the mind. And you know, you can feel you've hit the nail on the head, even if your brain doesn't quite know exactly what was spoken.
We'll just let these energies settle for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So we kicked up something.
Mm-hmm.
We bring in a little chime too. We could have kept going. That felt like a good amount for now. Today.
It does. We're joined together now in this intention with each of you.
Yes.
And we've opened up a portal that we've shared together, acknowledging one another's intentions, having entered this pool together. And hopefully we can...
Even on social media.
Yeah.
If you want to share anything about what you experienced there, we'd love to hear it in the little time we have.
Yeah.
And, I think for me, I felt the tones at the beginning of the bowls. It was so resonant.
Mm-hmm.
And then it felt like, the howling was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever howled.
No.
So that
all
brought
of a sudden,
out...
I remembered that.
That's why I was inviting you all to howl.
Wolves howl at the moon,
Yeah.
dogs.
Oh yeah, and that sound. If you ever lived anywhere where you can hear coyotes or wolves, it's so sort of eerie, but also magical, and it activates you.
We should have had a soundtrack of that.
It brings something else out, right? Primal instinctual stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit eerie. So there's the howling, but then it felt like a little bit of movement with the shaker, just a little bit. And I started seeing native dancing around the moon. Of course, Sarah passed out and woke up to the howling. Okay.
Perfect.
I hope that wasn't too jarring for people who were being very meditative. We're just sort of going with what the energy feels.
We want to welcome inner children, and sometimes they need to go off in different directions.
I felt like the womb though enjoyed the howling too. It was like there was a release in it.
Oh God! And if there's something deeply sorrowful in your heart, to just let it go on a tone You can just feel your divine self wrapping around that.
The 2 dogs.
Haha.
Oh, that's so sweet, Fred.
Which activated my 2 dogs' every senses. Okay, you had it on the speaker for them.
Oh.
How cool.
Oh, I would love to hear that. Oh.
Oh. And Rihanna says the howling brought both giggles and tears. No. I felt the deep desire to let go of overcompensation and tension that has lived in parts of me for many timelines.
It's a release,
And
isn't it?
also
Release.
tears of gratitude for the life I'm living and the goodness around me. Yes. Feeling with people the realization of dreams, and then going, as much as I'm in my dream, it takes some work yet to be able to let it in how good it actually is. Letting in a long desired, I'm definitely in my, have tones of that too.
I get that there's the, this releasing a howl, releasing a movement, drumming. I had my drum here, but I didn't go to it, but it's a drumming at the moon, any kind of releasing, however you feel to do that. And tears, of course, are a major one as well.
Dimitra, it was wild. I loved the howling transmission. We hadn't planned that.
No.
But I just
Actually,
remember howling at the moon.
Did you see the wolves? Because I don't know if some of you saw the wolves. I was actually going to ask you if you saw animal totems coming forward, but we were in a circle, and then I started seeing wolves. And of course, howling at the moon. Yes, that's great.
Dimitra says, I was howling in grief. Yes. Started as a sacred rage, and then to grief, and deep into tears. Celebrating my self-sacrificing temple body, my own funeral for holding space for what's no longer mine, related to people. Ah, God.
Wow, that's amazing.
Funerals can be the most potent and powerful thing if we're in touch with the purpose and the intention. And one of the lines in that Psalm 23 I mentioned earlier is that, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. The shadow of death is all around us. It's the something coming in front of the light, and there's these scary figurines that are projected onto the wall of the shadow of death, because death is a part of life and it's all around us. But the next line is, I will fear no evil. And to be able to be exposed to the shadow of darkness at any time, to know it's ever present in our lives, but to no longer be afraid of it is like, whoa. So, but the grief and the rage to go there.
Sacred grief and sacred rage and the sacred no, particularly for women.
It takes you through a portal and
reclaiming the body as well.
The stasis is when we are unwilling or unable to feel something, and then we're in a heightened tension that's just building up and not moving until something breaks. And sometimes it can be, really sad breaks that don't need to be so intense. Yeah.
Yeah. Self-sacrificing is self-reclaiming. Yes, exactly.
Becoming the calm in the storm as it is ever present. Yes. Not being thrown off by the fact that the shadow of death is all around us. And it's answered by our heart presence and by trust and by connection with our divine self. So.
Thank you for all of you for joining us, those of you that are live and contributing in the moment, and those who will take this in later. And as I said, our intention is to offer these every week we offer our love streams every Wednesday, but the ones connected to the supermoon. And so next month we'll come back here into this space and see maybe also where you are and what's moving in your life and who you are now a month later. And the other thing I wanted to announce is something that an alchemy that came up in response to a request by Dimitra for well, she requested a womb healing video from me and meditation. And so then a Sacred Feminine video series came through for me to do, connected to each chakra and the bowls. And I will start that. It'll be released every Thursday starting tomorrow. We'll be starting with the root. I am grounded. I am safe. We'll connect to your inner protector around that. And I could see it applying to men as well. I'm going to focus it on women, but the inner feminine, or some of these aspects like the inner protector as masculine. So that will be going on for, I'll do 8 of them. And that will just be on YouTube and Facebook. I'm just going to share them and do them in my own space. So I feel that will also help motivate me to keep working on the book that I'm writing right now, channeling really. Free to Be She is a follow-up to Free to Be 5D, my other book. And this one's specifically for women and their healing. So the series I'm feeling like will provoke. So if you would like to take that in and share with me what you experience of it, I love that. So connecting the chakras to specific parts for the feminine as well is something I haven't fully felt into before. But as I was doing it yesterday, I was getting quite excited about it. So
it's going to be good.
It'll be good. Yeah.
Very good.
So I'll announce that tomorrow and share the first one. Yeah. Hold me accountable for the book too, if you want. I just mean, if you ask for it, then it'll come. And that's the feminine, is to respond. To me, it's not about the achievement of it at all. It's the process, but it's also that it serves. So if I feel like it'll serve, then it flows through me. It actually will come out. And now 20 years of serving women, there's a lot that wants to come out and through. And it feels like as a guide for women in their journey to embody more of the sacred feminine. That really is why I am here, is to offer that. So it's really in my heart. I would love to complete this book by the end of the year and have it released. So let's see.
Yes.
Okay.
It's.
I kind of went off there for a moment.
That's. It's been a full day today.
Yes.
I bet it has for you too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Really
thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the inspiration.
She-wolf, howling in celebration. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, let's we'll howl like goodbye. Goodbye.
Ow.
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 So primal.
Love to you.
Love to you all. Bye.
Bye.
See.